right, ladies and gentlemen and programmers, we're going to do Code Academy Lesson 1, Hello World. All right, so the first thing you're going to do, you have to kind of figure it out on your own, is to go to Code Academy, www.codeacademy.com. I want you to create an account, use your school email when you do it, create a password that you're going to remember. They're going to always try to get you to do a paid deal or try to do like a free trial of the paid deal. Don't do that. Some of the lessons are free, so we're going to get started with the free lessons. So just kind of navigate around and try not to get tricked into their having you pay for the lessons. And as we're doing this, we're going to do stuff and we're going to take notes. All right. So I want you to answer these questions. What are the 3 reasons you should learn Java? And answer these questions right there. Okay, so if you look right in here, you're going to see right in here is going to tell you some of the 3 reasons why you should learn Java. Okay, so the next piece is, what is Java known for? Okay, let's pop over. So at this point, I'm assuming that you've got started. So let's pop over and see what we're doing here. Okay, so it says here, programming language. Okay, so here is, so Java is known for, and it gives you the answer right here. Okay, and then the next question is, why do people love Java? That's answer. So people love Java. Okay, so answer that. And then the next question is, what is syntax? Syntax are instructions that Java understands. Just like with our robot chair door wall project we did, the robot, there were certain things he knew how to do and certain things he didn't. And so that's going to be same with our robot right now. Our robot name is Hello. We're creating a Hello World robot, and it basically just prints stuff over here. The next question is, what is the name of the file at the top middle? Okay, so the question is right here, what is the name of the file at the top middle? And so the name of the file is helloworld.java. And so these 2 things are pretty much going to match up. Okay, so your name of your robot is Hello World. This file, if we were actually doing this not inside of a browser, but we were actually doing this in Greenfoot or some other thing, we would have a file that we're creating that would be called helloworld.java. So that's the answer. What's the name of the file? helloworld.java. And the next question is, when you run this, what is the result on the right? So basically on this particular one, they've done it for us. So if we hit run, it's basically going to say hello world. That's it. So pretty simple, some simple code here, and we're going to do a little bit more on the next section. So when you hit run, you're done with number 1 of 7. So we're going to hit next, and we're going to go to 2 of 7. Okay, so I want you guys to hit pause on this video, and I want you to read this thing, try to do it on your own before I give you some help on the next thing. Okay, so we're now doing step 2 of 7. A class is like a robot that we want to give instructions to, like the robot in Robot Chair Door Wall. That's a statement, so please write that down in your notes. By the way, speaking of notes, whenever you see anything in red, take notes. And the other piece is, we want to keep these notes very organized, so always write 2-7. So when I look at your notes, I know, like, okay, you're on the second thing. Write this statement down. A main method is where we give our robot instructions. And then what do curly braces do? You're going to have to find that in the text. Okay, so if you read over here, read through there, and it's going to tell you what the curly braces say. All right, so to let you know, the curly braces are kind of where things start and end. So right now we have this thing that says public class hello you. And so basically this time around we have a file, our Java file is called hello-u.java. And so our robot is called hello you. Okay? And so basically what it's saying is, hey, I'm going to teach Java how to make a robot named hello you, and it starts here and it ends there. So our curly brace starts our class, which is our robot, and it ends our class. And then we have the main method. So that's called main right here. And so our main method is where we're going to give our robot hello world instructions. So in the same way We have our curly braces. They start and end this, okay? And so now what we're going to do is we're going to read the instructions here and figure out what to do, okay? So I've already done it. So basically when I started, it looked like this, okay? And when I hit run, it did nothing because it didn't have any issues or problems, but it didn't do anything because there's no instructions in our main method here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here. I'm going to type in the instructions. So system.out.println, which just means print over here. Okay, so now and you're going to put your name there. And so when you hit run, it just says hello, Brian Miller. Okay, and yours is going to say hello with your name. Okay, so now we're going to hit next and we're going to go to part 3. And let's take a look at the instructions here. Okay, answer these questions. What is syntax for? What are comments for? And what happens if you hit run when you first get to part 3? All right, so for the first two, you can find the answers here. There's comments and so on and so forth. All right, if you look at it, the syntax is things like system.out.println. These are instructions that our robot named, in this case, the name of our robot is Timeline. Okay, so we started a robot named Timeline. At the end here, we ended the timeline. So, but this right here is something that our robot timeline knows how to do. That's syntax. We have to write it correctly to where it understands it. Now, when we get down to this right here, this is not syntax. This is written in English, and our Java compiler doesn't understand it. So when I hit run, I get all sorts of error, right? Because I didn't do this right. So this was never meant for the compiler to understand. This was made for the human readers. It's a comment. So on this one, it's a single comment. So I'm going to put / there. Okay. So now when we get down over here, this is a big long comment. This was, again, meant for human readers. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do / and then the time sign, which you can find up. I don't know where you find it, but it's the time symbol. See if you can find that. And then we want to end it. Now look, so one of the problems is it didn't say you are a fun language. If I hit run, another error, because the error now is because I started my class and I never ended it, because now it thinks this is for a human reader. It's not reading any of this. So I have to end this comment. And so that I end the comment with a star and a /. And now all of a sudden, so Java skips this and reads this. Now when I hit run, we've got that. Okay. All right, let's go to the next piece. Okay, so here are the questions for step 4. Does Java read white space? Why do we use white space? And then this is so answer these two, and this is a statement. Write this down, a semicolon. Oh, no, that's a question. A semicolon is like what in English? So all right, let's take a peek at our project here and see what it's doing. Okay, so for step 4, Java does not read white space. So why do we use white space? Because if you're going to make a huge program like Minecraft in Java and all your code looked like this, it would run. But the human coders who had to go back, I want to make an update or a change, they could never figure anything out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use white space to figure it out. And so what we need to do is get to the end of the line. And we have this thing called a semicolon here. And that is like a period in the English language. It's like, oh, this instruction is done. So we can go to our semicolon and hit enter. We go to our next semicolon and hit enter. And we go to our next semicolon and we're done. And we can even put some more spaces in here if we wanted. And then we can hit run. And you can see it runs perfectly. Okay, so it runs with or without the white space. So the white space doesn't help the Java compiler, but it helps us, the human reader. Okay, and now to finish this thing up, you can see I took a couple liberties here. I just removed some spaces, but we still have each of these statements on a new line. So the next thing you have to do is you have to make you have to make your own line that says programming is awesome. And then when you run it, you have your own line in there, and now we're ready to go on to the next section, which is 5. Okay, so in lesson 5-7, go ahead and read through all this first. Hit pause on my spiel and read through all of this first. But they ask us to go into this window over here and type in this thing right here. They say type in, where is it at? All right, so in the instructions here, they say type in Java. So we're misspelling it on purpose, compiling.java. And so I'm going to hit, I get to the end. So I got to go, I'm going to use my arrow keys to get to the end here. I'm going to hit enter. It says command not found. Okay, so we somehow made a mistake here. Okay, so I tried it again, and now it's giving me the error. It's missing a semicolon. So now we're going to go down instruction 2. Do you see the error? The compile is telling us one of the print statements is missing a semicolon. In the terminal, type enter and return. Okay, so I was reading this thing totally wrong, so I sometimes get goofed up just like you guys. So here's the deal, and the reason is you're never really going to use this kind of line deal here. But anyway, so what we're trying to do is we basically made this robot called compiling.java, and we're just trying to run it. And so when we try to say, hey, do everything that this robot knows how to do, named compiling, you get this error. So I typed in Java C compiling.java, and so we're basically asking it, hey, I want to run this robot called compiling. And so you get this weird error message. System.out println Java statement needs a semicolon, basically. Okay, so what we can do now is we can come over to this. So basically, this is an error message saying, hey, you made a syntax error and you've got to fix it. So what we do is we come over here, we add in our semicolon, and then if we try it again, oh, not that. So if we come over here and say, all right, let's try to run this thing. So if we say Java C compiling .java, and we try it again, it should run this time. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this thing up now, and I'm gonna finish this up in the next video. So do as much as you can here and jump onto the next video.